The British Prime Minister opposes Trump, insisting Ukraine must be included in peace talks. Keir Starmer is set to meet with the US President in Washington next Thursday. The two leaders hold differing views on how to end the war in Ukraine, highlighted by the fact that the United Kingdom is preparing to impose its largest ever sanctions package against Russia. Starmer has firmly stated that Ukraine must be included in any negotiations to end the war. The British Prime Minister will soon travel to Washington to discuss the Ukraine situation with Donald Trump. Trump has previously claimed that Ukraine's participation in peace talks is unnecessary, arguing that President Zelensky has made no progress in resolving the war over the past 3 years. Trump has also harshly criticized the Ukrainian leadership, even going as far as to call Zelensky a dictator. European Union leaders have consistently maintained that no peace negotiations regarding Ukraine should take place without Ukraine's participation. The previous US administration held the same stance, but since Trump's return to office, the situation has changed. The US and Russian foreign ministers have already held a round of talks regarding Ukraine, with Sergei Lavrov and Marco Rubio meeting in person in Riyadh. Trump and Putin have also communicated directly, albeit only via phone. Starmer's statement makes it clear that European leaders still believe that no decision about ending the war can be made over Ukraine's head. On Saturday, the British Prime Minister spoke with Vladimir Zelensky by phone, assuring him that the UK remains committed to Ukraine's sovereignty and believes it must be protected to prevent further Russian aggression. Starmer also announced that he will carry this message to Washington next Thursday when he meets with Trump. One of the most crucial UK-US meetings in decades. According to The Guardian, Starmer is expected to inform Trump that the UK will increase its defense spending to 2.5% of its GDP. He is also likely to deliver an invitation from King Charles III for the US President to visit the UK. While these gestures may appeal to Trump, Starmer still faces a significant challenge. He must maintain good relations with the US President while making it clear that Europe holds a different stance on the war in Ukraine than the American administration. Former British Foreign Secretary William Hague has stated that this will be one of the most critical meetings between a newly elected US President and a British Prime Minister since World War II. Starmer is also striving to represent not just the UK's position, but a unified European stance in Washington. He has already consulted with Ursula von der Leyen on the Ukraine issue and plans to meet with Emmanuel Macron before the French president travels to Washington for his own discussions with Trump. The United Kingdom still sees itself as Ukraine's ally, signaled by its largest sanctions package against Russia. British Foreign Secretary David Lammy stated that the goal of the sanctions package is to reduce Russian budget revenues and slow down Putin's war machine. He also confirmed that the UK provides £3 billion annually in military aid to Ukraine and, if necessary, is prepared to send peacekeeping forces to the region. Conclusion and expected consequences. The statements made by British Prime Minister Keir Starmer and his upcoming visit to Washington clearly indicate that the UK and European leaders remain firm in their stance that peace negotiations cannot take place without Ukraine's involvement. This position stands in stark contrast to Donald Trump's view, as he believes that the Ukrainian leadership has failed to achieve significant progress toward ending the war. The meeting is expected to have a significant impact on UK-US relations. Starmer must balance maintaining the strategic alliance with Washington while firmly advocating the European position. Additionally, the UK's planned record-breaking sanctions package against Russia will further escalate tensions and raise questions about how unified the West's approach to the Ukraine conflict will be. Expected developments. The future of UK-US relations. If Trump remains firm in his belief that Ukraine can be excluded from peace talks, it could create friction between the US and its allies. Starmer's biggest challenge will be avoiding a transatlantic divide while continuing to strongly support Ukraine. European unity, strengthened or divided. Starmer is openly championing the European stance and working closely with Ursula von der Leyen and Emmanuel Macron to align the EU's response. If successful, this could enhance Europe's influence in resolving the conflict. However, internal divisions within the EU could weaken its collective stance. Russia's reaction. The new UK sanctions package is likely to provoke a strong response from Moscow, potentially including economic countermeasures or an escalation in military rhetoric. This could reduce short-term prospects for diplomatic peace negotiations. Ukraine's position in peace talks. Starmer's firm stance on Ukraine's involvement could bolster Zelensky's negotiating position, particularly if European leaders remain united in their support. However, if Trump and Putin continue pursuing separate negotiations, Ukraine's diplomatic standing may weaken. NATO and military aid. The UK's commitment to increasing defence spending and its £3 billion annual military support for Ukraine signal London's long-term dedication to Kyiv. However, if the US reduces its support, European nations may need to take on greater responsibility for arms supplies and financial aid, which could spark tensions within NATO. Final thoughts. The coming weeks will be crucial in shaping the future of the war in Ukraine. If Starmer effectively represents the European position in Washington, it could enhance Europe's diplomatic influence. However, if US and European positions continue to drift apart, it could deepen divisions within the Western alliance. If you found the topic interesting and useful, please subscribe to my channel. It would help me a lot. Thank you.